going live shortly. Welcome if you're joining us. I'm going to wait till a couple of minutes past 8 so that anyone logging in and trying to get their browser working has time to join us live. Let me just so it looks like we're live. Welcome if you're joining us. We'll start just after 8 o'clock. Give people a chance to join us. Chanu-casts. If you've just logged on, I'm going to wait a couple more minutes. If you're just logging on, we can see that people are watching, which is really nice to know, although we don't know who's watching. So if you'd like to send an email to me, you can do so to community@frsonline.org. Just say hello, let us know who you are. We'll start the Chanu-casts officially in a couple of minutes. Just wait for some more people to log on. Okay, welcome. Thank you for joining us for the third night of our FRS Chanu-casts. We've been connecting with friends all around the world, lighting candles together this week. It's a lovely thing to be doing, and we'd really like to know who we're doing it with. So if you feel like saying hello, the easiest thing to do would be to drop me an email. community@frsonline.org and say hello. I've got my candles here. There's something intrinsically holy in the act of lighting candles. We say the blessing, Asher Kidshanu b'mitzvotav. Our blessing says that we're somehow made holy through the act of performing this ritual. Holy is not an easy word to understand, but I guess that I use it in the sense of being different from normal humdrum daily life. It's different from the life I lead, where perhaps too often I act without enough thought for the unforeseen and the difficult to comprehend consequences of my actions. In performing a holy act, I create a time and a space to stop, to recognize my place in the world. I'm responsible for the resources that I consume and the consequences that my actions reap. When I light candles, I'm present, consciously making myself aware of my actions and their meaning. Earlier this year, the Board of Deputies of British Jews issued a call to action, challenging the British Jewish community to make its voices heard and to act to support a global campaign to challenge climate change. The wider political context to these climate change discussions is the International United Nations Summit taking place right now in Paris. The leaders of the world's nations have been challenged to agree tough new targets to reduce carbon emissions. FRS, we had our own response to the Board of Deputies' call to action a couple of weeks ago with a public meeting where we heard from leaders from within the Jewish community and beyond, hearing how faith communities are organising to make changes and to decide what action we'll take. The work's being taken forward by our members, Neville Sassini, Rabbi Jeffrey Newman and others, and if you'd like to know more, I'm sure they'd be delighted to hear from you. Now, in all honesty, though I know issues of climate change to be literally matters of life and death, I give them too little regard. I know I act in a way that often harms the environment, but because I'm not thinking about my actions, because I'm not present when busy consuming, it's easy to ignore them. Rabbi Yonatan Neril is the founder and executive director of the Interfaith Center for Sustainable Development, and he wrote these words. In our society, we rush from one task to another with hardly a moment to pause and reflect in a long week of work. Our culture tells us do more, work harder, and buy more, an endless cycle which undermines our peace of mind and causes tremendous impacts on our environment. By not being present in the moment, we lose sight of what truly matters. Our hectic pace of life leads us to use our planet's resources more rapidly than they can be renewed, and leaving too little for others and future generations. Rabbi Daniel Kohn uses the lighting of Hanukkah candles to help us understand what it means to be present. He writes this. Say, for instance, you were looking at the sweet face of a small child, shining as he holds a candle, vibrant with life and with presence. Say then you would soften your glance and emotions and simply be present to this dear moment, not in judgment nor in thought, but in simple, sweet presence. Your initial connection to what is at that moment, indeed may be through your eyes, but as you soften into what is here, your experience will become more of a resonance with this life that is beaming, with this warmth of vital sentience, with something you and this child share and are united by. It may only be a moment before you think, how beautiful, or how cute, or where's the camera? I never want to forget this. But at that moment, that child's face, that sense of good, becomes windows to all that is, to all of creation in its vibrancy, goodness, and light. Rabbi Yonatan concludes, being present satiates a person spiritually and cultivates humility and modesty. A person becomes less driven toward environmentally destructive material consumption and more aware of how their consumption impacts others. So on this, the third night of Hanukkah, I invite us all to be present and to join me in lighting candles together. First the shamash. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu להדליק נר של חנוכה. ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם שעשה ניסים לאבותינו בימים ההם ובזמן הזה. מה עוצו ישועתי לך נאה לשבח, תיכון בית תפילתי ושם תודה נזבח, ויהי תשבית מטבח מצחם נבח, אז אגמור בשיר מזמור חנוכת המזבח, אז אגמור בשיר מזמור חנוכת המזבח. Chanukah Sameach. Tomorrow night our Chanu-casts travel north up to Leeds, where Rhiannon Humphreys will be leading the lighting, and then Thursday will be with Rabbi Miriam. Both of those are at 8 o'clock. Friday night's a little different. You can join the online lighting by logging on to the FRS Friday night service stream. That starts at 6:30 p.m. And then Saturday is the 7th night. We'll be traveling to the Southern Hemisphere, where Leah Jacobs will be lighting with us in New Zealand. Again, that's 8 p.m. GMT. And Sunday, we conclude the 8th night of Hanukkah with Cantor Zoe, who will be in Australia, also 8 p.m. Chanukah Sameach. I wish you a holiday of happiness and light and much presence.